the why. I am so sad that today is our last day. But I know you learned so much in the last 3 days. First, we learned about who we were. We learned the three elements of self: the external, the internal, and the ideal self. And then we learned affirmation, how to separate ourselves from who we think we are to who we want to be. Then we learned the vision, the goals. We wrote goals down. We took steps to figure out what the feelings was. And today in this live, we're going to learn the why. Why we want to reach the ideal self. If you're watching this live, go ahead and tell me where you're from. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and write a comment, hashtag replay. So today, I'll tell you a little bit about my why and how does the why go. The why is why we do what we do. Why we do it. Okay? So the first video we learned about the who. Who are you? Why you do it. Okay, so my why. Why I became a career development coach. This was not in my plans. I was comfortable in my corporate job, to be honest. I loved my corporate job, but that's not what God had for me. He had different plans for me. It all started when I was younger. I remember when I first got my degree, I thought that my job would, hey, I thought my job would have, the degree would have given me an opportunity to open doors for my son. I thought that my degree automatically qualified me to have a job of my dreams. But that wasn't what happened. I got my degree and I ended up staying working at Walmart longer than I was supposed to. When people found out that I had a degree, they kept asking me, why are you still working at Walmart? Why are you working at Walmart? I felt shame and I felt like, um, why did I go to college? What does my college degree mean? So then I remember, so people was telling me, oh, so get another degree, gonna give you more money. So I went ahead and got me another degree. I started getting me a master's degree, and people kept still asking me about why you still work at Walmart. So I just took it upon myself and I decided to quit. I didn't just quit without a second option. I decided to quit and I went be a substitute. I enjoyed that too. I enjoyed working with the kids. I stayed there, but then during the summer, the job was about to end and I needed a job. So I decided to start looking back into my field. I remember I was kind of like desperate at that point. It wasn't about what job. I just wanted a job that went with my degree to say I did something. So I ended up becoming a case supervisor. I was working on case with the disabled. I went in people's homes and I basically told them their rights and responsibilities, balance hours, and I never really had real interaction with people. It was just kind of like meetings and write treatment plans, office kind of job. I was salaried and I got fired 6 months later. Um, I never got fired in my life, but it was ironic that I actually felt good that I was fired. I don't remember feeling sad. I actually, my supervisor, when he fired me, walked out, seemed like he thought I was crazy. His look on his face was like, didn't you just got an apartment? I was like, yes. But I was so happy to be fired. Maybe some of y'all feel that way. Know how I feel to be stuck in a job that you really don't like. but you stick to it for whatever reason. My reason was I wanted to live a life for my son, but I didn't know at the time that I had an option to actually quit. I don't know. I remember feeling like I was stuck there, and like always, I thought something would magically happen that would make me feel better at the job. I just stayed there until I was fired. When I was fired, I had no other choice. But other than that, I was showing up to work, not putting in my best foot forward because I remember feeling drained. I was tired. I would go home angry. I was in home bringing all my troubles from work home. I felt like I was depleted. I didn't have no energy. I just was, I felt like nothing. But I just kept showing up to work. The paycheck was all right, so I just kept going to work. So once I got fired, I so say found my voice. Uh, I got unemployment, so I went ahead and started talking to the unemployment office, and I told them what was going on. But they was like, "Oh, you should have did that when you was working." So I ended up getting unemployment. I stayed unemployed for that whole year because really deep down inside at the time I was married to a drug addict. So I wanted him to prove himself to me. So I was kind of like, I wanted him to show like, okay, this was his time to get a job and show how much he loved me. And then it was also a time for me to take a break. I think I was just tired. Like I just experienced a bad breakup basically with my job. So I was kind of like, I didn't want to go back to work. I wasn't looking forward to going back to anybody's job. So when unemployment was about to end, I started applying to jobs, any jobs. First job that called me was a nursing home. I became a CNA, a certified nursing assistant. If you don't know what that means, yes, I was cleaning bottoms for a living. I did that for about a year and a half. My paychecks was good. I loved the job. I can't even tell you how much I love the job. I love talking to the people. I love sitting down listening to the old people's stories. I love the routine. I loved everything about it. The only thing some days was like always, some days was not always good, but I loved it. Overall, I could have said I really enjoyed the job. The paycheck was just an added bonus for me being at work. Um, and then I remember a job opening happening about a social worker, and everybody knew I had a degree, so they was like, "Why you don't apply for that job? Do you go get that job?" I didn't get hired, and I remember my ego went down again. I was felt pressured that I should have went for the social work job, and I should have got it. And the same feelings that I had before about feeling stuck and feeling unwanted, not good enough, came up again. So I was kind of like, man, I felt good, but then it was a different feeling again. Like I was feeling sad again. Like I was like, I can't do it. I can't stay here. So I started applying to jobs again in my field. Um, a lot of jobs called me, told me I had the job, and I took one. I was getting paid 17 an hour based on my master's, because by then I had got my master's degree. And I was doing CPST and PSR. CPST is when you teach people, educate people about their mental health, give them education, tell them what it means, all that. PSR is the coping skills, the breathing techniques, and everything. So I got hired, no training. They hired me because I had the degree, but it didn't matter to me. It was a job in my field. I remember I took a picture of my first check and sent it to my cousin. It was like, yes, I didn't even work that hard, and my paycheck was like good. I stayed to that job for about a year. I remember by that time I was divorced. I was pregnant. I got me another boyfriend, and I was divorced from my husband. So and my life was turning around. It actually was going towards the good. Then the company started losing money. That's what they say from the company. Um, it started losing money, so it was affecting my paycheck. I already got paid once a month. I was pregnant. Um, I was on maternity leave. I remember, and they had told me that, oh, you could get paid, and it was Black Friday, y'all. I love Black Friday. I don't know how all y'all depend on y'all money. You got bills to pay. You got children to feed. You don't have time to be telling people I need my money. Like, I worked, give me my money. So I just had my baby. I was on maternity leave, and it was the week before I was supposed to, actually the time when I got my money, I was supposed to get my check. So I was sitting there. I went to the office to get my check. She said, oh, we so sorry. How's the baby and everything? I was, casual conversation. Got my check. Not that week, but like 2 weeks later. No problem. Didn't think it was a problem. But when I got back from work, things started to change. People was quitting like flies. I think by the time I ended up quitting, it was 4 people left. Now everybody know how it is. You fall in motion. Like, things is going bad, and then everybody quitting. You just follow the lead. That's basically what I was doing, following the leader. I knew I didn't want. I was complaining about some things in my heart, but I never said it out loud. I wouldn't tell people that I didn't like my job. I didn't like it. I didn't want to sound like I was being selfish. I should have appreciated I had the job because I was getting paid. But how can you appreciate something when you have to argue about your paycheck? It didn't make sense to me. So I quit after she gave me my last check, because people were saying she wasn't giving people their check. So I ended up getting my last check, and then I quit. But I quit on the promise that a man, he told me that he was gonna pay me $20 an hour, which I was happy because I never got paid $20 an hour before. Overtime, he was working on benefits and everything. So before I had quit the lady, I had another job. So when I got this new job, I was so excited. I was like, man, this is the job that's going to give me the life that I want for my child. Well, now it was my children, because now I had 2. So I was like, I would really love this job. So I was making my money, going to work faithfully. I wasn't getting paid overtime like he promised. I worked overtime every 2 weeks, but he wasn't every week. 2 weeks it was an excuse. But my checks were still looking good. Y'all probably heard me talk about it millions of times. But I was making $1,400 clear every 2 weeks. So I was not complaining about the overtime. I wasn't. The checks was good. I loved my job. It aligned with me. I was good. I was happy. I want to say I was in the job for about 6 months, 7, pretty much. We went on vacation. We went to Florida. By the time I got back from Florida, my check was not like it used to be. Something happened between the time I went to Florida to the time I got back to work. Wasn't my fault. We were signing documents saying that we was gonna take a percentage now, whatever that was supposed to mean. He said, "Oh, you gonna be making more money now because you gonna get a percentage of every piece of person that get qualified to come in." So I was like, "Okay, I get paid more." I didn't care because at the end of the day, I just wanted to serve my people. I wanted to give all I had in myself to my people. I even decided to I enrolled back at school as a mental health counselor because my degree became unqualifiable in Louisiana. I skipped that part, my bad. But they told me that my master's degree that I did have wouldn't give me the money I wanted. So when I had took the job with the man, I was excited because he promised me he was gonna pay me on my master's and not on my bachelor's. And but by then when I actually went to him, the woman that I was working for, she had decreased my pay based on that new law. She didn't grandfather me in. So when I took the job, he was talking all the good stuff. You know, they speak to your heart, they say. He was speaking all that good stuff that I wanted, that I valued in a job. So I went. Never thought it was a red flag that he needed so many people. He actually was asking me to recruit people, which I did. I recruited some people. They started working. They quit. They was like, it wasn't for them. Fine. I was making good money. I was good. I had a full caseload. Saw my people. I did my job. I was good at what I did. Not all good things last forever, right? Or that's what I felt at the time. I was like, came out from Florida. I went from making $1,400 every 2 weeks to $400 to $100 whenever he felt like it. I remember going into this state of depression that was unbelievable. Nobody could have reached out to me. Nobody could have talked to me. And I found out I was pregnant again with my third child. I had 2 car notes, high insurance. The second car I had 2 car notes, but one car was disabled. We was only driving one, but I still had to pay the car note. The one car we had was wrecked now, so we had no car. High insurance. I was living above my means basically. So I was making $1,400, but I started accommodating to that lifestyle because I thought it would have always been there. I felt this is what I deserved. This is what I went to school for. And he also was making promises like, oh, I was looking for somebody like you. You could own my business one day. So I was excited. I was like, this man see my worth. He know my value. Have you ever been to a job where they tell you all these big old lavish things and then it never comes to permission? They give you all these hope and dreams and it never happens. Drop it in the comment if this ever happened to you. So then after this, I got off this job. I remember feeling so hopeless, so hopeless. And I remember rethinking to myself, why did I go to college for all this college debt? Why did I go to college? Because I wanted to make this life for my child. I wanted to show him that you could be whatever you want to be. I wanted to open doors for him. It wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. How could I make a life for my son? And I couldn't even make a life for him before he was an adult. I had dreams to pay out a house, to give him a car when he turned 16, make sure he could get his car, and I could provide for him. So that way I could take away some of those struggles, at least some. He didn't have to go through all the struggles I went through. But it wasn't going like that. It really wasn't. I felt depleted. I felt it miserable once again. How could I give to my clients my whole self if I didn't feel whole? My sister lent me her car. I put my disabled car in the shop to get it fixed. Things are starting to look up. I applied to some jobs. Every job that I applied to called me for an interview. And every job I interviewed for asked me if I wanted the job. So what changed? What changed was I had to learn why I was doing this. I had to rethink about my degree, and I had to grow confident. I had to know who I was as a person, the ideal self. Who did I want it to be? So when I started looking for jobs, it wasn't about the job anymore. It was not about the job. It was about my why. And they was going to give me what I wanted now. So I went up in there and I told them what I wanted. I knew what questions to ask. I knew what things I brought to the table, and I knew what skills I had. I knew what environment I could work around. I don't I don't like working with people that's egotistic. I don't like to work with people that don't listen. Like, I learned how to be assertive. A lot of things changed in my job that when I accepted the job offer, I knew this is the job I wanted. Even jobs after I accepted the job offer was calling me and saying, please, can you come work for me? But like I said, I had that opportunity to choose. And I want that opportunity for all of you out there to choose what you want. And this take learning you, learning your why. Why do you do what you do? They say X, Y 7 times. 7 times. To figure out the deep core of it. Why serve others? Because I don't want y'all to go through what I went through. You shouldn't have to bow down to a job. That's not what we was created to do. We was created to live with confidence and peace. We should be able to walk in our calling with a smile on our face. We should do it. But it all talk about putting in the work, investing in yourself, being the best you could be. You can only give people you. Every job I went to, I gave people my all to the job. But I didn't expect the job to give me back anything but my paycheck. And now I expected things from them. I give you me. You need me as much as I need you. But you gonna need me more than I need you. That was my attitude. When I walk in jobs, I knew what my worth was. I knew my value. Maybe this was the path I was supposed to take. Only God knows. But I know today that I'm no longer a person I used to be. I'm no longer sad or ashamed. I know who I am, and I know where I'm going, and I know where my goals are. So this is the life I want for all my people. For everybody that stepped in my group, I want y'all to have the life, the career of your dreams. Doesn't mean you have to be an entrepreneur. Doesn't mean. But whatever you want to be the best at it. And do it because you want it. And get everything you want out of it. Don't settle. Don't settle. Settle and do not bring you joy. Doesn't. Now I invite you. If you know anybody that's unhappy in their career, lack confidence, and you believe this group would be good for them, please invite them. Invite them. Be part of my mission to serve 10,000 people. Give them that hope, that dream. Don't let them go on being unhappy at their jobs, just living. That's not what we made for. We are made to enjoy our life to the fullest. And this is what I want for everybody. Enjoy your life. Get what you want out of life. We have choices. The choice is yours. What is your why? I was glad speaking to you for these last 3 days, but I gotta go. Have a good week. Talk to you in my group.